Good morning. Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? Hope you're doing well. I am doing well. It's been a crazy morning, as usual. So, those of you already know I'm in the midst of moving. And so, well, welcome to my new setup. And so, I am tired. Every part of my body aches. We have been moving and getting things out of storage into another storage, into where we're moving. It's been a journey. So we're on our repat journey or expat journey, I should say. And welcome. Just because I'm frazzled, you shouldn't be. All right. Well, I have an amazing guest this morning, Mocha Mozelle, and I can't tell you how excited I am. I'm so excited that I couldn't even go to sleep last night. That which is part of the problem, because I just couldn't even go to sleep last night. I was like, oh, I just can't wait. I can't wait to talk to her and to ask her all of these amazing questions that I have. Let me grab my notebook, guys. Yeah, I'm so excited, so excited. So let me put this over here. And then I'm trying to get used to my new setup, of course. So let me just go ahead and give you guys a moment just to come on in, and I'm going to do a bit of sharing. Mocha is in the background. Mocha Mozelle is in the background, and it's just going to be an amazing, amazing day. So I hope that wherever you are in this part of the world, if I'm looking over to the side, I really am just looking at another screen trying to get to my computer. But wherever you are in the world, I hope it's beautiful and wonderful and amazing, and all is well with you and with your family. I hope just everything is going well. It's a bit hot here, so we're having to, here in Tennessee, it's a bit hot here, so I'm having to get used to not wearing. I pulled this out, but I promise you it's way too hot for this today, this long sleeve shirt, and so having to get used to not having putting back all those winter clothes that I thought that I would need. And so yeah, lots going on today. So in this sharing, let me go ahead and do a bit, like I said, I do bit of sharing before I forget, so that I can invite you all in. Those of you who are interested in expatting and repatting, which is most of us. So this is just going to be quite an amazing discussion, amazing day. So how are you guys doing? How is your journey going? How are all of you doing in your neck of the woods? I hope all is going well. I'm just excited about today. Like I said, my little update on my journey is that I am still moving, still trying to get it all together, and really packing and unpacking. You know what that's like? Unpacking. I thought I had it all packed, and now we're unpacking again. So that's been interesting as well. And so, yeah, I am excited. All right, let me share this. Apparently, I can't do two things at once. Let's see. Apparently, I can't do two things at once. Let's see here. All right. All right. Well, let me go ahead and bring her. Good morning, Milton. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate it. Let me go ahead and bring Mocha Moizelle in, and yeah, let's get started with our day. So, welcome to my life. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good. How's the sound now, Milton? Milton said we lost sound. How's the sound now? I hope it's good. You'll give me a thumbs up and let me know. So I've been excited to have Mocha Mozelle on because many of us are interested in repatting, expatting, and it's something that's really taking those of us who are African American, really taking us by storm in a way. We are migrating, we are expatting, we are repatting, we are fleeing the West, and really deciding that we have this opportunity to live a different way and to live life on our own terms. And so, what better person to have to come and talk about that than Mocha Mozelle. So Mocha, I'm gonna let you. She's a fellow Mississippi girl,
Mhm.
so Mississippian, so sip a gal, from the sip. So um, amazing woman who is doing such amazing things around the globe. So I'm gonna let you introduce yourself.
All right. Well, I am Mocha Mozelle. Like I said, I'm from Mississippi. I grew up in Mississippi. I recently, well, I expated from the U.S. I want to say over a year and a half ago. I made my migration to Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica to be exact. And that's the basis of my journey expat experience so far. Um, yeah, I'm not
So now, why did you um decide that moving was going to be something that you wanted to do, and why Jamaica?
well, I was just kind of exhausted with living in the United States. Um, I just got sick of the whole, you just get it's exhausting and steady trying to quote unquote obtain an American dream and all these this rat race, this matrix that we're in, thinking that we're obtaining something or we're moving forward in life, and you just really keep finding yourself in the same position, and it's not any fault of yours necessarily, but just wanting more out of life and not falling into that trap of constantly working to live and so on and so forth. So I decided on Jamaica. Well, I wanted to be in a black country, predominantly black country. I wanted to be somewhere that was English speaking. I didn't want to go too far from home, and because Jamaica is beautiful, it's a beautiful place. Um, has beautiful people. Still have those cultural elements there. Um, People call it Little Africa, so I still wanted Africa would have been also a choice for me, but I didn't want to, it's expensive to get there for most of us. It's very far to get to any event that I needed to go back for anything. So I think Jamaica is the ideal place, and you have the best of both worlds. Well, you have all of the worlds here. You have the city living if you want it. You have the beach living if you want it. You have the rural country life if you want it. You have access to all those things if you want it, depending on you and your lifestyle. So that's why I decided on Jamaica.
Awesome. Let's see where you
Hmm.
are. All right, so here we are. Let's see. Okay. Well, I think a lot of people make that decision, for a lot of the same reasons. One of the reasons why I was choosing Jamaica was, or really heavily thinking about it, started thinking about it, is because my husband has elderly parents, and so my parents are both deceased, and so with him having elderly parents, it just made more sense for us to be able to come back if we needed to visit or to do things. And also we have children, and so and our kids are grown, they're adults, but they're still my babies, and so it's easier to catch a flight and to really get back to America quickly if I needed to do that. So I think a lot of people, because I was really heavily on, oh, I'm going to Africa and and all of that, and I still love Africa and I still plan to visit. At the same time, I am looking for options that maybe will ease me into Africa, over, since you said it was Little Africa, ease me into Africa, or that will just provide, a safe and beautiful, amazing home base where I'm, happy and excited. What I know you have are doing some amazing things. I've been binge watching your videos. Was so excited when you landed. I was so excited when you finally got, like, I think it was your residency. Don't let me, yeah. And then when you got your business started, and then of course you've had this amazing group that you've co-founded with some amazing people. I love your group, Black Expats and Repats in Jamaica. They're so much fun. I mean, any question that you ask, you can get answered. And I do want to make sure I ask this question before we go. Did you ship anything over to Jamaica? Did when you were when you were moving, and that maybe you're still moving stuff, because I'm sure it takes a while to get everything there, but did you ship anything, and did you ship anything through Memphis? That's what I want.
Uh, no, the first few times that I was coming here, I just packed some suitcases. I made sure I flew with Southwest so I could get those two free suitcases, and then I would pay for any extra suitcase. But the last time I went there, which was to get sorted with the residency stuff, I did ship some stuff over, um, which probably I probably could have been more economical about the situation, but it was my first time and I didn't know. But yeah, I did. I went through a shipping company through Louisiana,
Oh,
um, which everything was fine. It's very expensive. So had I known, I probably would have probably tried to more so get to Florida and ship some stuff over. I think that would have made more sense. But coming from Louisiana, they're still shipping out of Florida. They're just driving your stuff from Louisiana to Florida. So um, I
did
think
you
it's
have to
more.
drive it? Did you have to
I
drive
didn't drive it. I dropped it off at the company that I was using, and they took it over on their freight,
it?
and
Okay.
then it got here from there. But had I known, I probably would have just collected my stuff or just got or bought or whatever it was that I was needing in Florida and just had it shipped from over there. But I definitely did. The process, it was a process. Um, but yeah, I did. I know what to do for next time.
Okay.
If I end up
Well,
doing it again.
you can tell us. You're going to tell us. So now this is the reason to go. Make sure you're
Mhm,
checking in at Mocha Mozelle's channel, which I have
mhm.
all the links below. I have the links to her channel, links to her Facebook group, and so you can easily connect with her. Now you got a reason. Now you got to stay tuned for this new shipping information. Are you going to do a video on shipping? Let me say that, but let me ask before I just put that all out there.
um, I probably will. I've got it. It was an exhausting process, but I probably will, just for information's sake, because I guess yes, people probably need more information on how to go about doing it, but um, I haven't had a chance to as of yet, with so many things going on. But yeah, I could add that on my to do list.
Okay, I added one more thing. Now, if y'all see me looking sideways, I'm not looking sideways in Mocha. I'll try to get used to my setup. So if y'all see me like looking sideways, all I got a computer screen here and me here. So that's what that is. But Melton had a question, and he wants to know. He says he grew up just outside of Mississippi, and so how was the adjustment growing up in the South, the culture, climate, and hospitality? As you moved and expated over to Jamaica. How was that for you?
Okay, so let me start with okay, the culture. Okay, well, the culture, Jamaica is a lively place. Well, outside of COVID, typically it's a very lively place. You see people living and existing. Some, I mean, you still have that conservatism here somewhat, but for the most part, it's a lively place. You see people happy living, partying, all the stuff all the time. And that's part of the culture here. It's a very lively party, nighttime place, culture wise. I would say it wasn't that climates and look because Jamaica is very much like a rural place. It wasn't it wasn't that different for me. It's just very much it's way more beautiful. I guess like to see and look at. You know the they have the U.S. has the South even still is very serene, somewhat still very beautiful, very nature like. But you have that definitely out here, but it's just more tropical, I guess. Um, Hospitality, very nice, hospitable people, and then they can also be very direct, which I guess it get the label rude comes from. But it's not necessarily rudeness. It's just they don't. It's not. We have gotten so accustomed to trying sugarcoat and make things sound nice and pretty or whatever. Whereas like more so, you would just have like, and we would interpret it. Oh, they're so rude, but no, that's just it's just a more direct form of communication. Um, so very, yeah, very, very nice and rude. I mean, it's like a combination. But yeah, people for the most part have been so welcome and accommodating and nice and sweet. I mean, you have your run-ins typically like you would anywhere else. But for the most part, people are very nice and helpful and yeah.
That's good. That's good to know. So let me come back in. I'm trying to get all this sharing down still. Let's see how we do that. Were you shocked by anything when you first came? Was there anything that really shocked you or that you just didn't expect?
I guess the thing, well, getting acclimated. So there's Mm, let me see. I won't say necessarily shocked, but just things I had to get adjusted to. You have to have a lot of patience. Um, because there's typically just a line about anywhere that you go to. You have to figure out when's the best time to go places and things because it's you have to wait a while for things to happen. You have to have a lot of patience. Um, Also, when I first came here, I would always see these big houses, these big concrete houses. I'm like, oh wow, they got all these abandoned houses out here. And they was like, no, they're not abandoned. And I was like, oh, they're just like they're building upon the houses. They look eerie and abandoned looking, but they're being built upon. So I saw a lot of those and I assumed that they was just abandoned houses, but no, people are living in there. They're just building upon the structures. I wanna say I don't think I've had too many like big shockers. It's just like adjustments that I've had to make. Nothing that I was like, oh my gosh, I can't deal with it. Like I'm just shocked. It was kind of, I go and I observe and I, get in where I fit in, so to speak. So,
That's what I'm talking about. The South,
yeah,
all that is the city all day
yeah.
long. Get in where you fit in, honey.
Yeah, you come into a new place, you observe the place. That's what it wasn't for people, other people, but for me and my persona, that's typically what I do anyway. So I just recommend that people come in and just be observant, just be quiet, be listening. Don't go projecting what you think stuff's supposed to be, how it's supposed to go. None of that. Like just come, see what it is, and then you operate from there.
That is great advice and really great question. I mean, I asked the question, though, didn't I? I was saying, Milton, you asked a really great question a moment ago. But I think you tapped into something that's very important, and that is spirit. What kind of spirit, what kind of attitude do you need to have, which you just really eloquently answered when you move, because you have to go over without having any expectations and really open to learning. Now I think for me, because I'm a water baby, even though I'm a Sagittarius sign, there's got to be some water in there somewhere.
Mhm.
But I love the Mississippi River, close to the river, but I didn't live close to, I always grew up around water, Tallahatchie River and all that, but I did never lived really close to a beach. I think if I get to 7 Mile, that's gonna be my shocker. When y'all see talk about the woman rolling around in the sand and she gets, they're gonna be. I think that would be me. That's my, that's gonna be just. I mean, and I've been to like the Atlantic Ocean. I've been to different, seen different oceans and stuff. But I think to live and to be able to experience you mentioned how when we growing up in Mississippi, how old Mississippi used to be. It wasn't a lot of construction, so you could go in the summers. And I'm older than you are, not much, like a year or two or so, but and you'd be able to just pick fruit off the trees. You'd have the apples and pears, and in the winter this time it was a lot of nuts, black walnuts. I just went home not long ago, and there were already the black walnuts, or they call them Billy Bobs, were green, and so they were waiting on them to turn, which they probably, I don't know if it's been cold enough for them to go ahead and turn black, but they're black. And then there's the of course you got to shop and get all this stuff off, but then there was black, there of course black walnuts, pecans, all kinds of stuff. So I think to live in a culture where you have access to lots of fruits, everybody had a garden, you ate fresh, you wasn't any of this store bought stuff, you made your own spaghetti sauce, you made you made everything. And so I think that would be not really my shocker, like you were saying, but that would just be my like paradise. And then to learn about Atoll cooking and food. So have you gotten a chance to taste Atoll cooking or food since you've been there, gone to some of the restaurants, or yet?
Yeah, definitely. So well, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, I wasn't necessarily shocked by the food, but I was kind of like shocked by how many foods I didn't know existed.
Right.
And I was like, these folks ain't told us nothing. I was so
They
shocked
ain't told
by
us nothing. They ain't
they
told
ain't said nothing. I'm like, y'all got all you can literally just walk around and go grocery shopping. Food is everywhere. It's so plentiful. But yeah, I did not. I was so shocked about breadfruit, and I was so mad. I was like, you can literally do all kinds of stuff with this. It tastes like bread and a potato, and
wow.
it is growing on a tree. I'm like, y'all got this nutritious little gem. And he said nothing. I've made fries with the breadfruit. I've seen they're making chips with the breadfruit. They're making powders. I mean, breadfruit flour and things like that. And I'm like, y'all have all these. Yeah, I was upset about that because ain't nobody said nothing. I had never had seen the Aki before. It was just so many things. I was like, wow, like I ain't never had the chance to experience this, and it's all delicious. But yeah, I've definitely had like the Ital food, and the lady that I stayed with, her husband was a roster, so he would do like a lot of like the cooking and things like that. So that was my
Introduction.
introduction to it mostly. But yeah, like I got quickly immersed, so I'm thankful for that. And yeah, it's like now I'm still finding something new all the time. Like, what's this? I ain't never seen this before.
And it's good.
Don't have this in America. I'm just like, wow. Yeah.
Because here I was talking to someone who is retired now, much older than me, and they were talking about how in Mississippi, especially North Mississippi, some of the lakes and the rivers, they can't even go fishing anymore because they are there's a lot of, what's the word, um
Pollution or
pollution. That's the word. Thank you,
yeah.
girl. Thank you. Yeah. um, Alzheimer's kicking in. But I'm saying, so there's a lot of pollution. And so, and it's just a whole different, I was trying to describe this to hubby yesterday. We're having this conversation in the midst of like at 10, 11 o'clock last night. He's got the car, our truck lights pointed at the storage, and we're trying to move and bring stuff to an apartment, moving out of our house and trying to do all that. You know how that craziness. And he's like, let's talk about this later. But But I was trying to describe just the whole different mindset of, being access to fresh fruits and vegetables and taking care of ourselves and really just access to everything. We don't realize how much and how disconnected we are. I was talking to Kwame the other day. He was here. So if you haven't watched that broadcast, go back and check it out. And hello to everyone who's watching the replay, and hello to everyone's in the stream. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And Mocha, and I'm glad I get to introduce her to you. But we were just Kwame and I were just talking about. I had to, of course, bring up all my favorite things. Jamaica Black castor oil, all of the things. Sea moss. I have a friend, our super here, who's here. He has been having a lot of pain and other things, and so he swears by Jamaican, by the sea moss, and he gets it and brings it over here. I was like, I need to be your supplier, okay? I need to work this out. Maybe Boca and I can figure out how to do this. But it's just, just such an amazing idea that here we are as a people, our ancestors kidnapped, and now and brought here against their will. You're disconnected from everything. Those of you who know, I just had hubby and I had COVID, so I went through a lot of hair loss, had to cut my hair off. And we're disconnected from vitamin D, all of the things, right? The way that COVID is sort of raging in the West is not happening in Africa and other places. You have a connection to being able in Jamaica and other African nations. You have your access to fresh fruits and vegetables. You have access to fresh fish, which your body needs. There are all kinds of minerals and good stuff. You're disconnected from vitamin C, just being able to walk and pick something live right off the tree, and it has impacted us. A lot of people didn't even know their hair could do the things, with the natural movement now, didn't know that they could do the things that it could do. And that I think about this joke all the time when Eddie Murphy, when his character in Coming to America sits down to get the haircut and they're scrunching, you said, like, that's some juices and berries, And so now we know that we need the juices and the berries to really make our hair be as beautiful in the crowns, and all of that. But that's a whole different conversation. But reconnecting to that, reconnecting to who we are, reconnecting to the earth in ways that we have been forcefully disconnected is such a great opportunity. And so it's a great opportunity for us who want to migrate and move. So hubby is saying, good morning. This is hubby, by the way. Milton is saying good morning. Mocha Mozelle. He's also a member of the group. And if you aren't a member of the group, Black Expats and Repats in Jamaica, then please do. You get to see Mocha and some really amazing people over there. Jocelyn is saying good morning.
Good morning.
Out there, she's saying good morning. Mocha Mozelle has this beautiful Mississippi hospitality, Jamaican hospitality. She's saying good morning back. Black Butterfly, if I can talk, is saying good morning. Food Forest Permaculture, good morning from Vancouver Island in Canada. Happy New Year.
Good morning.
Welcome. Thank you for being here. Good Blind Guy, his wife, and their life, who are also members of this channel. Thank you. You can hit the join button and you can join and become a member of this channel to support me. Also, support me over on Patreon. That would be awesome. Blind Guy, his wife, their life, Corey and Laquita are saying good morning to all. Glad to hear from Jamaica. I know, right? It's always good to hear from Jamaica. Milton saying thank you for answering his question. And Blind Guy, his wife, their life, are saying no mincing words to the fake hospitality. I love the people there. When I visited Jamaica, they were definitely accommodating and very patient. Yes, very patient. Yes, there can be a bit of passive aggressiveness and fake hospitality here in the West. Y'all know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yes. So
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah. So that's the thing. I think people get confused or they, perplexed because we're used to, just not being direct with things. We got to figure out how, it's like,
Feng shui it. I say we have to
yeah,
feng shui it.
yeah, yeah. And I'm like, people, I'm like, I can't, you can't, you have to, this what, when you go to somewhere else, you have to just learn the culture. And it's like people, I think what happens is people are so accustomed to viewing Jamaica as a tourist destination
Mm-hmm.
and they are expected to be waited on hand and foot. They are expecting like the red carpet to be rolled out, and I'm like, these,
No, boo.
I'm like, these people have existence outside of servicing you. Like, there's a whole side of Jamaica outside of the tourist areas. You know what I'm saying? And so people, like you can't. Don't come here with that mentality. Like visiting as a tourist and like living somewhere is going to be a different thing. Like they're not
Mm-hmm.
the same. Okay. Um. So yeah, I think that's what people get things misconstrued sometimes in that sense, and then they'll go bad mouthing. Oh, they so bad, got real rude, blah, 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 like that. Listen, just you have to go to places with understanding. It's like you would want that. I'm like, think about if it was you. You was a stop away from being a Jamaican. You know what I'm saying,
Right.
or a South American or whatever. You know what I'm saying, a stop away. So like, there's nothing that could have like say that wouldn't you wouldn't be in that position. So it's just that's what we have to deal with, like as Black people. Like you have to understand, like especially when you're going somewhere to migrate. There's so many different nuances that you just have to take into consideration, understanding, and like,
I like when you do that.
yeah,
Understanding.
because it's different lived experiences, and so this is, again, when you come somewhere, these are things you come to terms with. Yeah, so it's not they have the house and I mean they are very nice and hospitable people, but they're also very direct. So I think that's where we kind of get like confused. Like, yeah, so
I feel like I'm Jamaican, or at least my family. I really do. I really somewhere in the Caribbean. And if
Mhm,
historically, um, we know that people from Mississippi, the Carolinas, are related in some way to a lot of people in the Caribbean simply because of the way that the slave trade happened. So people would come here and they'd be separated and often shipped over, especially from, if you were Mississippi, Carolinas, you'd have family members, relatives, brothers, sisters, moms shipped over to the Caribbean. So I'm not going to test that by checking the box and say I already have family there. But I do think sometimes the way that Sierra Leone, for example, is doing residency. I think sometimes some of the Caribbean islands could open themselves up to the conversation of how we allow or how we address the expats who
mhm,
want to come from America and throughout the West want to come to other countries. I think that we need to sort of just begin to have this conversation, along with which Kwame and I discussed, because Blind Guy's wife was saying the episode with Kwame was packed with information to reconnect us with some of the good life outside of the States. And I mentioned to him that one of the things I'd really like to see in Jamaica, for example, is the digital nomad visa, because it's definitely in, it's Barbados has one. You guys, when you talk about the Black expats of Jamaica, I know you got a lot of plans that you guys are working towards and things that you do. I think Aisha was already connecting and able to pick people up and kind of help them when they get land and kind of help them get sorted from the airport and all of that. I know you can't tell us everything,
mhm.
but you can tell us something from my age. What are some of the plans? What are some of the things that, so when people, you guys, Mocha is very low key, but she's something amazing. She is something fierce. You hear me? And if you're going to Jamaica, you need to connect with this sister. She is absolutely amazing. I was like, she from Mississippi. We might be related somehow. The
Ain't
girl
no
is
telling.
look,
Ain't
ain't no
no telling.
so this young woman, Queen, is got it going on. She is really joining and connecting expats from around the globe. Who are interested in coming to Jamaica. So they've got some plans. But can you tell me a little bit about the group and just some of the things that you guys do?
Well, the group started because I don't know. It kind of it started off. I started it because I'm like I don't think people would. I don't think people thought to create a space like that because they just identify Jamaica as a black country.
Mm,
So I don't know. I think when you are an expat or a repat or you lived abroad and you come to Jamaica, there's still that sense of needing community. Like you still can be very much isolated. So that's why I initially started the group, to start forming a sense of community, and to help us better integrate into Jamaica and understand like, what all it takes to, be good and comfortable and not feeling so ostracized because you still, even though these are your people, you still have again a very different lived experience than for a lot of them. So they may not be able to relate to everything, or they not may able to understand, and vice versa. You may not be able to relate to things they're living with, and you may not understand. So, I definitely wanted just to kind of have that sense of community here, and that's initially how the group came about. And yeah, it people from all over the world, expats and repats, have found a way. Um, to the group. And I think that says a lot about Jamaica because people love Jamaica, but again, haven't identified necessarily living there because they don't think, for repats, it's like the sense of it's the same thing. Just coming there and you being ostracized, and they may have a better feel and connection, but it's still just trying to get things moving along, for you to get set up and moving and just get more better acquainted to the island. So we have a lot of things planned. We got a whole slew of things planned. Well, firstly, I want to say we again to foster that sense of community. We started doing link ups and meetups,
mm-hmm.
um, and annually we'll be having them towards the end of the year in the grill. But we've had them throughout the year in other places, like in Montego Bay and in Kingston. And so we're gonna start venturing out to other parts of the island again to give people a sense of what all Jamaica has to offer. And we're also going to really start hitting the ground heavy with more of the business venture and business side of things because Jamaica has a very much entrepreneurial spirit. Jamaican people are very much you know, well, you still have that 9 to 5 crowd, and you also have those people who make their own way. And so I want more black people in particular because I see so many people get hung up on what you gonna do for a job. They
Oh,
have jobs in Jamaica, and I'm like, y'all have to, if you want to be a free black person, like you have to start thinking outside of the box on how to support yourself. Like that like don't even come well, I'm not gonna say don't come here look for a job. Don't be you start positioning yourself to sustain yourself without that traditional route.
mm-hmm.
Because and then we're moving towards that phase anyway. Where it's like you have to figure out how to digitize your skills or figure out how to you have to figure something out
Right.
to where it's like you can't people are so, scared of not having that they so latched on to that again. Well, I call it the matrix or whatever. Just no clue, no idea of how to exist outside of that system. So I'm
Mm,
like, y'all have to think people outside of America exist every day. They figure it out. They, you know what I'm
right.
saying? Like people who live in these other countries, what you think they doing? Like they figure out how to sustain themselves by whatever means they need to do so. We have to start thinking like that too. Um, and but I definitely want to start fostering that sense of business and entrepreneurship and just creating opportunities for us locally, and for people and for Jamaicans, and how we can start integrating our skills and talents and experiences and so forth. So there's a lot of things we plan on doing business wise, social cause wise. We're definitely looking to start housing and being able to accommodate people who at least want to come here and experience Jamaica, to test the waters. Um, just a whole service geared towards helping people understand and know Jamaica better. So there's a whole slew of things we got up our sleeves for the most part. So yeah.
Yeah, so that sounds like there's some amazing stuff that's going on. And so I'm just excited. Now, you came to Jamaica, and one of the first things I correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the first things you did was teaching English. You're talking
Mhm.
about sorting yourself and getting. Is that something? And you got to go watch that video, guys, if you haven't already. But some of the things of how she started and how she was, moving from sort of this working in her environment, working within this system, right? And then, because I want to get on work talking about working on this system, because it's a slave driving type system that we in, and we just don't know it. Someone said we're on a people farm, and I thought, you know what, that is exactly what it feels like sometimes. But you work 7 days, you get work one job, then when you got to come up to Christmas, which I don't celebrate, y'all already know that. And happy Kwanzaa to you all wherever you are. This is the first day of Kwanzaa. But so you got this system, then you gotta Christmas, you gotta for one day you gotta get a part-time job or something, or beg your mom on them so you can buy gifts, at least $100 per person for the people. And I'm hubby posted this thing the other day. We were talking about he was posting this other thing saying, remember when, I think you might have just sent it to the kids. I don't know if he posted, but remember when our ancestors would give us nuts, an orange, a candy cane, and you'd be happy. That's all my great grandma would give you. You was looking for some what from great grandmama, from great grandma Pearl to play. You might get some tea cakes if you could. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we have to find other ways, whether it's Africa, no matter Jamaica, wherever you want to go, you got to find other ways. And I um really have been thinking about other ways and thinking about, oh well, is there something that I could do there on the islands. But what are because we have to think of, my husband drills this in with me. He's like, if you're gonna move, you're gonna do this, you got to think about finances. That's men, right? And women too. I'm just not the financial person. I know how to spend it. Okay, give me the money, like spend it. But so, what are some of the things that you recommend in terms of, you talk about starting a business, but you've also done taught English, and then I saw you were posting talking about, I was following you because you were learning about digital marketing. What are some of the things that people should be thinking about when
Uh,
they're moving?
yeah, so for me, so when COVID, like again, started one. I had been telling myself for years that I was sick of jobs, but you just get caught. You don't know what else to do.
Right.
And so I have dabbled in like some entrepreneurial things, and just working for myself and just starting the process to generate income for myself throughout an employer. Some I was successful with, some I wasn't. But again, it was all a learning
Right.
experience. Like just trying to figure out like how do I do this? Because I hated jobs. I hated working jobs. So I started teaching English online before COVID came, a few months before COVID came, and it was my saving grace throughout. Um, Corona and COVID. Like, um, just being able to be wherever I'm at and have some form of income coming to me. And it wasn't a lot, which was fine with me. Like I wasn't, I wanted to be able to support myself. Um, and that's what it did until I got situated here, until I got comfortable. So yeah, teaching English, it was definitely one way. And people just have to figure out what means, even if it's so it was still a job, but it was an online job. And for me it was like, okay, at least I'm able to just be on my computer. I don't have to go look in people's faces. I don't have to try and commute nowhere. I can just pop on my computer, do my classes, and let that be it, and go on about my business. And then I have the rest of the day, the time to do what I want to do. Like even if it's nothing, like I have my time for what
Mhm.
I feel like doing with it. And that was what was important with me at the time. And I think that's important for us too. You get a better sense of clarity when you're not constantly like shuffling, trying to worry about like, all that. You get a sense of clarity as to what you actually want to do and your purpose for whatever you decide you want to do with your life. Um, so I think people definitely needs to, even if it's something small, starting off like what I did, teaching English online. I think tech is a very, very needed space for us to start
Mhm.
gravitating towards, and being that they have so many programs, low cost or free even, to learn coding and these
Yeah.
different technical jobs, even if there are opportunities where you're not even dealing with coding, so to speak. Like they have project management positions and all these type of things that are available and you can get certified. I know Google, LinkedIn has some certification options. Udemy, all these courses are available, which I think people should take advantage of, especially if you want to have like a location independent lifestyle. Um, I think remote work, I know that's kind of getting like a little iffy now with the remote work thing. If you still want to work a typical job, but you don't want to have to physically go somewhere, I know plenty of people who are getting these jobs and they may set up a VPN or something. I don't know what the stipulations are regarding that now. But the job that I had, I want people need to look for positions where they don't, if they can find those positions, they don't care where you are. I think those would be your best advantages. So anything dealing with tech, anything dealing with again, marketing, digital, social media,
Mhm.
all these different factors. It's a plethora of things.
That you
Selling
can
things
do.
online. It's you got to start doing your research and seeing what's feasible. Um, Even if it's, I don't know, some people may just want to sell off stuff if they have home, they have assets like that. I don't have any. I didn't have a house. I gave my car back to the bank. I told them to take it. Like I didn't care. So it
Long
kind
go
of just
in peace.
depends. Like yeah, like that's where it was for me. And people again are so tied up in these things. So it just depends on you and what you want. Um, Learn a new skill. Like don't get caught up in a career, or if that's your desire. Like, learn something that will be able to, you have the opportunity to be anywhere. You don't have any income limitations. You can create your own opportunity or find one that will accommodate what it is that you want to do with your life.
Absolutely. And we have not been conditioned to really think like that, right? We've been conditioned to work, 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 work. We haven't been socialized in a way to be free and independent thinkers. I mean, even the idea of moving abroad and going somewhere else is almost crazy. People look at you like, what? But I think it's definitely something, if you want to do it regardless, you can do it. Because a lot of times we make a lot of excuses about why we can't do, we don't have this money, we don't have that. But if you really want a different life, um, there are so many reasons why you can move and you can do something else. It's learning a new skill, it's finding a new way, it's really retraining and rethinking.
And
um,
there are plenty of people who do go to other countries and find jobs, but when you have to think about the economy of that place. Jamaica isn't necessarily the place to do that with. I know people who go to Mexico or Portugal or wherever these other places, and they can find jobs and they can work, those local jobs. But I'm thinking for your best chances, you want to, position yourself to not rely on those traditional methods of employment. Um, my device is dying off. I don't know if I can make a quick grab my charger real quick or
Yeah, go ahead.
okay. All right, so just hold off for me real quick, please.
Okay. There it is. So, she's bringing up so many great points, right? And Mocha Mozelle is bringing up so many good points. Let me go and hit you guys in the chat for a minute. Let's see what you guys got going on. Um, NC Worker says, "Good morning, everyone." So, good morning to you. Let's see. Um, Food Forest Permaculture says, "Thank you kindly for the awesome live stream. Been a pleasure to be here. All the best to your endeavors in 2022 and to you as well." So thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see. Milton, I'm going to come back when she comes back. See you, fellow Earthlings. So great, great, great. Institute, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Milton says, "Great advice. Just figure out how to do what you do, right? How to do you. Just figure out how to do you." That is what we really have to do in this space. Figure out how to find a balance, find our way, and figure out how to really make the income. And you may find out that the income is not as much as you might need in the West, but find out, it's time for us to be self sufficient and thinking in different ways without relying on a particular system like the one in the West in order to do the things we need to do. We've been so socialized into working for someone else, into it's almost like this, which is very odd to me because we haven't always had schools, but this pipeline from school, you go from school, kindergarten to daycare now, right? To pre-care, daycare, into school and middle school, elementary, middle school, high school, and then to work. Or college, and then from college to work for sure. And then if you go from the military or some other avenue, you still go right back into work. So it's this pipeline, and we are just not realizing that that we are being socialized in a way to do a certain thing. So in order for you, and it takes a moment, because I know hubby and I have tried different things, and it takes a moment to really figure out what is it, right, that is gonna work for me, and then how can I really find something that's sustainable. But you can do it. If Mocha can do it, you can do it. And so she's definitely a witness and a testament to that, which is why I wanted to have her on. So Blind Guy's wife says, "Yes, please tell us more about the food. All I know is apples, oranges, bananas in Virginia, with a few berries here and there." AOL. So what is your favorite food? We gotta ask that. Now that you're in Jamaica, what is your favorite? You can choose more than one.
Okay. I'm gonna say the ackee and the sawfish with the fried dumpling. Is one of the top contenders. I'm also gonna say stew peas, because I did a little video on this, but stew peas reminds me of like red beans and rice. That's why I like it so much. But that's what the flavors kind of are reminiscent of that. I love the mango. Yeah, I had never had like a mango mango. Well, I don't know. Jamaican mangoes just hit different. I don't know why, but I was like, I never. I love the mangoes. I love the fruits. Yeah, the traditional dishes and like Jamaica has like a lot of what I know, at least now they're starting to incorporate like a lot of other cultures and things into their food, but locally, yeah. Um I want to say locally, those are my favorite
Those are your favorite.
dishes.
Awesome. We're gonna try all. Milton and I are gonna get a chance to try all of this. So Milton is asking, how is the work-life balance in Jamaica compared to the States?
I think it depends on what you do. Because I'm lucky. I work online and I work when I don't work continuously throughout the day. Um, so for a local person, it could kind of mirror what it's like working in the States, or it can be more. Because of the economic differences here, and depending on what people are trying to obtain, they can find themselves working a lot more than the average person and for less money. Um, I think there's definitely like a more work life balance here. I think even though someone may work longer hours, they're not um strictly like, on edge, and like it's not something where it's like super duper, it's all about productivity. Um so it kind of depends. Like I said, they have depending on where you live. Kingston is like more so like I think Kingston and Montego Bay, but Kingston has more of that like
City,
yeah, more
New York.
yeah, westernized type working situation going on. And you have those who just, it's, I don't know, they do whatever, little hustling or whatever they want to do to try and make ends meet and stuff. So it kind of depends. Um yeah, I don't think it's as like, again, as a stressful situation as it would be working in the States, but it depends on what you're wanting to do.
Mm. Because I was trying to make this. I think just being by the beach and the water itself kind of relaxes you,
Mm-hmm.
and not having to so much you. I mean, there is a obviously wherever you go, there's going to be poverty, or there are going to be different situations, but just knowing if I could walk down the street if I'm hungry and grab something off a tree. I mean, it may not be what you want, but it puts you in
Yeah.
sort of a different sort of feeling, just having people who are, friendly, and it kind of puts you just in a different vibe, right? Like Negril, they call it the capital of casual. Just puts you kind of in a slower, it's not quite New York, not quite the States, but just a different, whole different vibe that's just
Yeah.
peaceful.
Mhm.
Is that what you
Mhm.
found?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're very much more at peace. Being here, the quality of life is just much better. And again, that's gonna be dependent, on the person, on the individual. But for the most part, it's very, yeah, you're very much at peace. You're not, on the clock all
Right.
the time. Or you're not, dealing with craziness, or it's just yeah, you come find your vibe, find your tribe. And like I said, that's what I love about Jamaica. Is like wherever direction you go, it's gonna be like a different atmosphere, a different vibe. The grill's definitely more chill, more relaxed. I think Mobe kind of has like that blend, where it's like city, country, rural. I don't know.
Mhm.
Um, but you have access to all those environments within parameters of places. So
It's the place to be. I know you ain't got to say no more. I'm coming. Blind Guy's wife is like says, okay, so we need a cool trade name for our community, like Chinatown, Little Jamaica, Spanish Harlem. This will attract the economy. She's already giving out advice and names. Yeah, we gotta get this connection going between this for this blacks for the sea moss, and what I got a whole list sea moss, Jamaican casserole. Like I got a whole list of stuff that people over here desire and want and need. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna start working towards those things. But again, we want to make sure that we're structuring and doing things properly, not rushing into stuff. And again, that's where people kind of get stuff gets hazy because you definitely gotta understand the lay of the land here. You gotta understand how things function here. You gotta understand like what the economy is like. It's a lot to go into, making sure you're giving yourself the best opportunity for success in the long run. And, not like a quick little something trying to throw something together. So we're definitely thinking sustainable wise, how we're going to be able to position all of this stuff. So,
Yeah. And so we're gonna take a few more comments and questions, and then we're going to wrap it up. I'm so appreciative of Mocha for
mhm.
being here today. Milton says, "Blind guy's wife like that little Jamaica." LOL. One of the things that Mocha has done, and you have to go to her channel. She's got two videos that I've watched so far, where she goes through her whole process of establishing her business, because it's a process, right? When you establish back expats and repats, you even had to go get a building, had to get a lease, because they don't necessarily have a digital visa, which I'm hoping they'll. I mean, the idea of working from home just doesn't.
Yeah, it's still kind of new here. I think the COVID kind of was like the spark of that here, but it's still, as a person who doesn't have like that traditional employment, you kind of get side eyed because it's like, and you have to think also, there's like, because of, I guess, like past like activity and people coming and doing, shady stuff, they have to start putting those things in place to protect, themselves. And I don't know what the case, I know they were discussing it, but I don't know what happened with that. But yeah, the work from home, remote work type concept is still um still it's kind of like a new thing. People are just now starting to kind of like understand it or gravitate towards it. Um but yeah, I think I ventured off a little bit, but
No, you were perfect
it's
straight on.
in yeah, yeah, I think we're gonna start trying to work, and it's like also not necessarily waiting for, as you have to think, Jamaica, they're still, even with these islands, like, Barbados just released the Queen, as their head of state. Like, there are still these nuances that you have to deal with and you have to understand. It's like you still have to figure out how to navigate those type of spaces. Jamaica ain't did so yet. So it's like you don't necessarily wait for government or whatever. You still have to follow by their rules, but sometimes you have to be the persons to come and set things up and orchestrate it and present it like, hey, this is what could happen, this is how it could benefit. They're not necessarily concerned with that at the moment. Like, they have all these other things that
They're
probably
doing.
mainly trying to focus on getting their tourism sector, which is like a big part of their economy. So it's like, it's just, again, coming and seeing to get in where you fit in, how you can navigate and make things happen and move. Don't come with the assumption that things are just going to magically happen for you.
Right. And one of the things you talked about was getting that paperwork in order. And so, for if you're looking for um, to establish a business when you go to Jamaica, or even to get your residency, Mocha Mozelle is the person that I definitely would recommend for you to talk to, and to help you through that process, to work with her, and help her, allow her to be a consultant for you as you're
Mhm.
working through that. And so you can contact her directly. I've got links below where you can do just that. Blind Guy's Wife in Their Life says peace is a popular word I hear from people who have gone to live in Jamaica. Yeah, very peaceful, very peaceful. Blind Guy's Wife says, I subscribed and will be watching those recommended
Mhm.
videos on her YouTube channel. Do
Thank
because
you.
because she's got some amazing information there, and about her journey, about how she got there. You just did a video with Gail, which was really awesome, from Treehouse to Grill. So you got to check that out, which also features the meetup that she was talking about earlier. She was talking about that Black expat group is gonna do expat/repat group is gonna do a meetup annually. Well, before we go, Mocha Mozelle, is there anything? I know you came to Jamaica because you had friends that first from college. You had friends who moved or
Mhm.
were from Jamaica, and so you kind of got interested. And then you came. Um, what did you pursue in college? So let me ask that question.
I did media production and Pan African Studies. That was
Awesome.
my focus in school.
Awesome.
Um, yeah, so again, everything is kind of coming full circle.
Yes.
um, yeah,
Love
so
it.
yeah, that was years ago, and that just so happened to came and stay with them. And crazy thing is, why when I first moved to Kingston, I was living around the corner from my classmate, well, her family that I stayed with.
Oh,
It just so happened I didn't know. I was like, I know this street. This place look real familiar. And I was like, oh, this is where I stayed when I first came here.
oh, that's so
Yeah.
nice.
So yeah.
So and everything, I love it when a plan comes together, especially when it's not a plan necessarily of your making, but you're following your spirit, you're following your own heart, you're following the voice of the ancestors, the call from
Hmm.
within, and it just all kind of comes together. So Milton says this was great. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, before you
Thank y'all
go,
so much for watching. Yeah.
thank you. And to everyone who's gonna watch the replay, thank y'all, because I know y'all come in slow. I know how y'all do. Y'all come just, but y'all hold the rear. Y'all be holding up the rear, but that's okay. I love y'all. So you watch the replay. I appreciate it. Now, for before you go, any last words or any last thoughts or advice that you'd like to share, or just anything you'd like to share for anyone who's out there thinking about repatting or expatting, scared to do it, don't know what their first move is going to be. What advice could you share?
Well, if you're interested in coming to Jamaica in particular, like you suggested, we are me and my team. We have consultations available for people who are interested. We have a guidebook on what to do and what not to do when selling in Jamaica. And I really would, at the very least, even if I would say give yourself the opportunity, at least test the waters. Like, go see what it's like to live somewhere else. I know, some people, want like a full on plan, which is great. But if you can and take it upon yourself to even just experience it temporarily, then go back and figure out your steps and figure out a plan. I suggest you give yourself the opportunity to do that. That way, you're not going in blind. You kind of know what to do, how to prepare, and moving forward. And videos and all those things are helpful, but you won't necessarily know how it'll work out for you until you go do it for yourself. Having people hands on the ground is awesome. Sense of community is awesome. And again, if you can talk and speak and even have people help you orchestrate your move, that will give you your best chances, but definitely give yourself the opportunity to do so. Please, don't get attached to um just I don't know, people, we get so attached to these things, and then people are like, what if you want to buy a house? What if you want to do this? I'm like, we
Mhm.
we got enough houses now. Everybody got a house. Like, why are y'all, am I gonna be homeless if I come back home? Y'all ain't gonna let me get a room or something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why is
Yeah,
it? It's like these constant like things to get you constantly invested in all of this stuff. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm beyond that phase where you just kind of take it in, and I say remove yourself to see like how to position yourself forward. That's what I say.
Remove it, move yourself to position yourself forward. That's a quote. That's a quotable
Hmm.
moment. Absolutely. Well, again, I appreciate Mocha Mozelle for being here with me, and I definitely appreciate we're in these concrete walls in the apartment, so I appreciate her working with me while I'm trying to figure out all these technical issues. And I'm just so appreciative because one of the things that I found with people when I've started thinking about Jamaica is just even the expats from the US are just so friendly and so kind and so helpful, right? To really share their information and to really want to help you get there and help you get to where it is that you want to be. And so I feel
You
really at
definitely
home
want to help
whenever in the group.
people. Yeah, you definitely want to help people, but it's also it's like the thing that we kind of run into again is like people see Jamaica as a tourist destination and not anywhere that they should come and have paid up, have a sense of respect and appreciation. It's like we want to help people who want to be helped, not not coming with these preconceived ideas and notions because it's not going to work out for you anyway. It's just going to be a waste of time, honestly. If you are, honestly, that's what it is. Because it's if you're not ready to come and like release certain things that Americanness, I felt a lot of us still carry that Americanness and that sense of entitlement and coming and telling these folks how to do, and I feel like don't do that. Like
That ain't a good look.
it's like that's not you're gonna just you're gonna play yourself in the process of doing that. So yeah, we definitely want to help those who want to be helped and who want to come here and who are serious, and not just coming trying to who are seriously coming want to be here, because those are the people who are serious, want to get out of America really, or wherever they at, because
Yeah.
UK, London, all those places, people are trying to get up out of there. So who are seriously wanting the help, like we are willing and ready to help those, not those who are coming in here and wearing these folks to death and, and just making negative experiences for everybody. And that's I also did a video, like I really need folks before they make that move, do your healing, recover, deal with your traumas or whatever. Do not come projecting this stuff like onto people, even in, wherever you at. It's again, it's like do your work, and then it will be so much waiting for you, so much, ready to, it'll be a much better experience.
And
Yeah.
we don't realize how much healing we have to do. We just don't realize the trauma, all of that, and just the American mindset, which restricts us and keeps us from doing the things that we need to do for ourselves.
Yeah.
Because so many things are so hard in the U.S. They're just not necessarily that hard when you go somewhere else. But it's all gonna start from within. Letting go of that entitlement, thinking that stuff's got to happen right on time when you think it ought to happen, how you think it ought to happen. I want it my
Mhm.
way. This is my Burger King. This is Jamaica. And I ain't
Yeah.
even been there, so I'm just feeling the vibe of what
Mhm.
you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So, Blind Guy's wife says, wonderful meeting you. Thanks for sharing, Mocha Mozelle.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And I know I'm probably keeping you away from some Aki saltfish and some some other good
Yeah, I'm
food
gonna
right
head on the road and see what's open.
there. You go. That's what I'm talking about. Well, thank you again. I am so, so grateful. And I hope to see you very soon. All right. Have a
All right.
wonderful, amazing day.
Thank you
Bye
so
bye.
much. Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you. All right, like look, this is so amazing. Please go out and check her channel, Mocha Mozelle. Go out and check out her channel. I've left the links below. And I've left links for you to connect with her in her group, amazing group that she has founded and created. I'm just so excited because, like I said, one of the things that I found for myself when I was starting to think about Jamaica and I was trying to reframe where I was going to go and really look at places where I thought my family would be happy and where they would love it as well. It's close, right? Easy to get back to, all the things that that Mocha Mozelle shared. And I went to the group and the people were just friendly. They were just nice, and just open, right? Open to share. And also, they have consultancy. So, they can consult with you on everything. They've done the processes, they've already done the residency. Many of them have, gotten, like Mocha Mozelle, she's gotten her residency, she's started a business. And so she can help you. She's there to really help you as much as she can, but you got to come with the right heart. You got to come with the right spirit. You got to come with the right mind. Get your mind right before you go. All right. All right, guys. I love you guys so much. You know I do, because if I didn't, then I wouldn't try to bring as many amazing guests, right? I'm trying to really bring some amazing quality people and stories so that you can expand your vision of what it means to be an expat, what it means to repat, but what it means to be African, and a part of the African diaspora in the world. It's your choice. It really is your choice. And so many times we've only seen an opportunity to live in the West and have thought, this was it. This is all I can do. This is all I can ever be. But you have the opportunity to migrate and go and leave and go and live in peace wherever it is that you want to be, wherever your little heart desires. And so we're making these connections. Please go over to Mocha Mozelle's channel and connect with her, and start watching those videos and start really immersing yourself in the idea that I had this opportunity to go wherever I want to go. Our family, our ancestors were explorers. They explored the world, and so don't let anything trap you. Let it all go and release it. Like I said, hubby and I are still deep in the midst of still decluttering, downsizing, and so we're gonna make this happen. No matter what, we're gonna, make sure that this happens for ourselves and for our family, to give ourselves this opportunity to do something new. And so don't let anything keep you back. Don't let anything, oh, I got to have a house. Don't let all the questions, all the fears, right? Don't let that stop you from really following your dreams, from crafting your life the way that you want, and desire for your life to be. Don't let anybody else tell you that you can't have the life that you want, because you absolutely can. And Mocha Mozelle is a witness to that. She's a testament to that, that you can move, you can follow your dreams, and you can live the life of your own choosing and of your own making. And so, this being trapped here in the West, I always think about I always think about, for some reason, I always think about how when you want to get organic food, you go to the grocery store here in the West, go to the organic section, and it's already 5 to 10 higher prices higher for a cucumber than it would be if you just bought the regular GMO food, right? And why is that so? Because it's much cheaper, right? Um, to farm and to grow food organically. So while it's the pesticides, all these other things that cost money, that and regularly having to do that costs a lot of money. So we have this opportunity, right? The world is our supermarket, if you want to think of it that way. And we can choose where we want to go, where we want to be, and to live the way that we want to live. We can choose to craft our lives. And so I want to open that choice up to you. And I know many of you are so used to me, and I love doing that, talking about Africa. But we have all choices around the globe, and we can go wherever we want to go and our heart desires. My heart, I really want to go to a country that's predominantly the African diaspora. But I also want to travel to other places. So, wherever you see me, that's where I shall be. All right. Well, I want to open that opportunity up for you, because I know a lot of us just haven't thought of it until recently, when we started having all of the senseless violence, which has been going on for so long. But I think a lot of us woke up with Trayvon Martin and so many other people. We saw the senseless violence and the senseless racism in the West, especially in the U.S. And now we get a chance, right? We get a choice not to have high blood pressure. We can choose to have peace and live a life of ease, and luxury, right? That's our own making, and what luxury means to us. Luxury to me means being able to go get fresh fruits and vegetables, having access to freshwater fish. That's what luxury means to me, having and being able to choose the lifestyle that I desire. All right, guys, I love you guys so much. This is Sanal, by the way. And if you haven't already, I've got links to my book, Love the New Currency. I also have, I was thinking the book was right here, but it's not. I think I moved it. But yeah, links to the book below, Love the New Currency. If you'd like to purchase that, that would definitely help me out. You can support me on Patreon. Also, you can support me by clicking the join button and becoming a member of this channel. Again, I want to thank you so much, and thank you so much to our guest, Mocha Mozelle, for being here with us today. All right, guys, I love you guys so much, to the moon and back. Have an amazing, amazing day. And remember that you can craft the life that you desire. Love you guys so much. And I'm going to see you in another video real soon. Bye-bye, guys. Have an amazing day.